Good afternoon again. Thank you, Andy, for allowing me to hijack your Facebook page once again.
Hey there, Jeanette. How are you doing today? Are you good?
I'm very good. It's March the 11th. Spring is around the corner. I'm seeing tons of flowers come up. So I just know people are probably looking for gardens this time in their homes.
And don't forget to set your time 1 hour ahead. We lose that hour, but we're going to get more daylight and more sunshine, and the warm weather's around the corner. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
Oh, so much so. Andy, right off the top of the mark, what's going on in your personal life these days?
Oh, it's my daughter's Andrea. She's 18 today, so yeah, that's a very, very big achievement. I'm so proud of her. She's an awesome child. I would take up the whole time here to talk about her. So let's just leave it at that. It's her birthday, and congratulations, big hug and kisses to Andrea today.
So that means very shortly she could be looking to move out and possibly get her own apartment. So let's get into Andy talks real estate. What's going on in the real estate world?
What's going on in the real estate world? Well, let me share my screen, and let's get over to the market statistics. Here we are. It's been a very interesting, first 2 or 3 months of the year. For the month of February, we saw a 39% increase from January of sales, and however, the listings started really taking off. The supply of new inventory for February 2022 increased 75%. Now, if you remember, in December, we were at more than historic lows of inventory, and there is a big surge of listings coming on the market at this time. In fact, it is the highest recorded supply of new inventory for the month of February.
Can I just pause you there for a second? Because you know me, I'm going to have questions just like the people watching this.
Sure.
What would you attribute that to, Andy?
Well, it's, people have been watching the market. They've been trying to decide when is a good time to sell. And of course, December and January are the cold months, and people are still, they're either in Christmas mode or they're post-Christmas mode. And so now in February, that's when the time that we start to see the activity build up, and it does reach a crescendo, usually in May, June, and July, but more in June and July, with most households wanting to sell their home if they have children. By the end of school, they're moving out and they want to be in their new home, for the summer.
Okay, good. Thank you for answering my question.
Sure, you bet. So this is our statistics for listings and sales, and you can see that this is the big increase month over month. So that's a huge increase of listings, and sales are starting to pick up too. And this is February of last year, and of course you can still see that the almost 500 new listings more this month of February than last year, and our sales were down from last year at this time. So that shows that we're going to have a lot more volume of sales coming up with the amount of listings.
So it almost feels like you're stocking the shelves again with some good product in order to satisfy your buyers that are out there.
Yeah, because there is a lot of buyer demand, and we're seeing that, and so we're still seeing a lot of multiple offers coming through, and that's still kind of the standard, but I do expect to see that change. Okay. Here's our months of inventory for the last few years, and you can see this the history, the foreign buyers test, stress test, what COVID did. And we're kind of starting to build up a little bit, hopefully, and we'll beat the July of last year inventory, and then make a recovery like the COVID recovery of the inventory into our marketplace. So the MLS statistics of inventory for the Fraser Valley, this shows us where it is for a balanced market, and it breaks it down to condos, townhouses, and detached homes. So we have 1.5 months, 1.5 months of inventory supply in the Fraser Valley for condominiums. We got just under 1.4%, For townhouses and detached homes are 2.2. So we're still very historically below and in a seller's market.
And if I remember the facts and figures from last month, wasn't the apartments like a 0.9? It was just like amazing.
Yeah,
So
yes, yeah,
low.
yeah. We're starting to see the inventory start picking up, and with that, you know, we'll see these numbers change a little bit too. So that means that for usually, like, you know, we're looking at the number 6
Mhm,
as a balanced market, and we're still well below that.
mhm.
And then our Fraser Valley Housing Price Index, and this is they, through an algorithm, they put together what is the average detached home like, what is the average townhouse, what is the average condo throughout the Fraser Valley. And I can actually, if somebody were to reach out and ask me, I can actually get a price index for each neighborhood in the Fraser Valley, and I do find it very useful. Yeah, maybe next month I'll talk about the HPI index and how I can put a house on from the time it was purchased a few years ago to now, and you can see the increase in value. But anyways, here we're, you know, you can see that the detached homes is still on an upward trajectory. But that, I think that's going to change. We'll probably see a little bit of leveling off as this inventory starts to affect the flush of inventory. Means that we're going to see more buyer satisfaction and maybe a leveling off in pricing. And of course, townhouses and condominiums are still on the upswing. From there, you know, let's look at Langley. So Langley again has a little bit more product in terms of condominiums. That means, you know, that's the Willoughby marketplace. They're building a lot. We've got 1.6 months there. Townhouses are very, very tight, and detached homes is 2.1 months supply of detached homes, and still again well below the detached balanced market that we would like to see. And here's our HPI home price index for Langley. So we're at the average home right now in Langley, and this goes from you know, from your entry detached home rancher, smaller rancher, to all the way up to acreage. This would include acreages, and that's why it's so high. But it's 1.723 1,700,000.
Where was a year ago?
You know, and I mean, if we go back a year, you know, we were at 1.2. So that's a $500,000 increase, which is pretty huge. And I believe that we're now starting to surpass Burnaby, Coquitlam, and a few other municipalities that are further west of us in terms of higher value. Langley is becoming the place to live, to raise your family, and to have a great lifestyle. Yes. You know, here we're looking at townhouses. There have also been increasing in value, but not nearly as much as detached homes. And the same with the condo market, and that's because of all the supply coming on in the Willoughby marketplace. So that's it for this month. I invite you to come again next Friday, April 15th, and we'll be doing this again. And I'll talk a little bit about the HPI index and how that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Why don't we stop sharing screen?
You bet.
And let's go into, you've got some new listings that have come up this week. Let's talk about that and what's happening with your listings these days.
Yeah, we've got 9016 Nash Street that just came on the market this week. It is a two-story home, has a smaller basement. There is a family member living in the basement, like a suite, but we're not advertising the suite. It is on a 13,000 square foot lot, which is big. The home itself is just under 3,000 square feet, and we're doing an open house from 2 to 4 on Sunday, and that's 9016 Nash Street. And the price, the price is it's 1.799,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think Sunday would be a great day to come out to that open house because it's supposed to be nice, and so people can just see how walkable and how livable and playable, if that's a word, living in Fort Langley is. With that address, you're close to Blacksmith, are you not? And you're close to Lee's Market, within a quick little walk, and lots
Oh,
of
yeah,
great amenities.
Yeah, not only that, but the Langley Fine Arts School is
Right. Okay.
it's a block away, block and a half, and your kids can walk to school. They can come home for lunch. There's a
Mhm.
playground, and there's going to be some aquatic facilities another block away. There's a tennis court, and right there. So in terms of activities, you're very centrally located with that location. Yeah, and then you can just walk around the corner onto Glover Road and
Mhm.
walk into the village and pick up your mail and have a cup of coffee, or drop into Trading Post and have a beer.
Okay, and you've got another property that you've got listed this week?
There's the Queen Street Rancher. Yes,
Yep.
that one it's been on for about a week and a half, and it is on the east side of Fort Langley. So that's probably the most desirable location. We're only about a block away from the downtown core, and it's pretty well a building lot, and it's listed at 1.6995.
So if I had a dream, that would be the property that I want to build my dream house on.
And if you want to see any of the details, just to go to Andy at therealtor.com, and all the details are there.
Perfect. And what's happening in the fort these days?
Yeah, so this weekend is the inaugural weekend for the Fort Langley Film Festival, and it's going to be March 11th and 12th. They're having 48 hours of screenings. They're going to have a bunch of shorts. They had a contest. They had a 48-hour film challenge last weekend, and so they'll be presenting those and having a competition on that. So that's on this weekend, March 11th and 12th. For more details, just go to creative-compass.com and you'll see it there, or just Google Fort Langley Film Festival. I love it because this is going to be the first year. I know them well. The people behind this actually do all the pictures and video and drone footage for me, and I'm a very big supporter of them. That is Creative Compass and All-in-One Productions, and I really hope that they bring it back next year and this becomes a fixture in the January, February months of Fort Langley, because that's when it gets a little bit quiet in the village, and there's a spot there for them, and I'm sure that a lot of people will pick up on that and come out to Fort Langley. And it's in the community hall, in the historic community hall. Yes.
Well, that's exciting. That
Yeah.
is something new and exciting to put Fort Langley yet again on the map for people to come out and visit. So fantastic. So Andy, it's always a pleasure hijacking your Facebook page to check in with you. And as Andy talks more than real estate, because he knows all what's going around in the Fort Langley area and beyond into the Fraser Valley.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, well, I live here, and I love my community. I think that Fort Langley is a great place to be, and a great place to raise your kids, and a great place just to enjoy life.
I'll wrap it up one more time. Happy birthday to your daughter. Enjoy your weekend with her.
You too.
I'm sure there's going to be lots of celebrations going on, because 18 is pretty magical out there in the adult world. And I look forward to chatting with you April 15th.
Take care, Jeanette. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye,
everybody.